Greetings, Clobby'S. Welcome to a better late than never edition of Clobby'S Comics Corner. Spinner Rack Time Machine. January 1972, week 2. And I'm so sorry this one's coming at you very late. Very late. I will try to try to fix things where they're not so late in the future. Anyway, welcome anyone who is not familiar with Clobby'S Comics Corner Spinner Rack Time Machine. Basically, every week I bring you back in time 50 years, a good round number to 1972, to my Spinner Rack Time Machine comic shop called Clobby'S Comics Corner. And I show you a little bit of a sample of the comics that came out that week. I go as if the folder system or the pull list. I show you what my pull list is for the week, and then a little bit of the next day or so I do a video, much shorter video, where I just show you the ones that did not make the cut, just to give you an example. Basically, a little historical example of what comics were about in that good old wonderful Bronze Age. 50 years ago, I combined my very young and 7-year-old sensibilities of the time, which of course. I was probably even too young to be buying a whole lot of comics, to be honest, but what the hell, with my much older, 50 years later sensibilities as well, to pick out some fun comics off the rack. But in this case, on my pull list, if you will. So we will get started here. Let's see, starting out for week 2 of January 1972. We have, first, before I do that, of course, I always like to give you just an example. I find all of these on a wonderful website called, if I do my research, it's Mike's Amazing World. And it'll show you all the comics that came out that week. I'll give you a little bit more of an example of some of that stuff on the next video. But you go to the newsstand edition and it tells you how to do it. And this week, I picked out some dandies here. Got 9. I picked out 9 from my folder list. And so let us take a look at them. First up is Son of Tomahawk, number 139. First story by Robert Kanigher, second by Frank Thorne, yes, of Red Sonja fame from in the 70s primarily. Second story by my old buddy Bob Haney, from the creator of Earth B. More on him later. In a future video, you can have a lot more on the extraordinary Bob Haney. Art by Fred Ray. And the rest, the following are the 2 stories. And again, it seems like all of these DC comics were the big 52 pagers this month, with a special 25-cent cover price, because they just thickened them up a bit and put some new stories and some reprints, as I've been talking about in earlier videos. Some reprints, in this case from Hopalong Cassidy, 133, John Broome and Gil Kane. Some Western stuff, of course, great DC Westerns. And also a reprint from Star Spangled, number 113 as well, with some, Frank Frazetta. That's right, Frank Frazetta reprints. One reprint, that is, who did a lot of great stuff in the Golden Age. And, of course, a nifty, just an extraordinary, as they always are, cover by the great Joe Kubert. Next up, The Amazing Spider-Man 107. Story by Stan Lee, art, and this is when Lee and Romita, the classic team that followed up Ditko's legendary run. We're back for a little while. You got Lee and Romita, and of course Frank Gioscia on the inks there, and with a Romita cover. And so you can't go long, especially when you got a Spider Slayer story, because you got to love those. Just love these Bronze Age covers. Next up is Avengers, number 98. Story by the rascally one, Roy Thomas. Art, Barry Windsor-Smith, with Sal Buscema inking him. That's interesting. I guess this is right around the time when he first started putting Windsor-Smith in there. Instead of, originally, he was doing a lot of Kirby rip with some of his art and calling himself Barry Smith. But he is Barry Windsor-Smith forthwith, I suppose. And it has an excellent cover with pencils by John Buscema with BWS, Barry Windsor-Smith inking him. So that's pretty interesting there. Interesting cover. Captain America and the Falcon 148. Story and art by Gary Friedrich. I never was really sure on that one. Art by my buddy, the great Sal, our pal Sal Buscema. Inked by John Romita. Interesting there. And when I say Romita, in this era, you're talking senior. There's no reason to even have to say senior. He's the only Romita to some of us. No offense to Junior, but he's Romita. And it also sports a nifty Romita cover. It's always fun to see the Red Skull on there fighting Cap. Next up, a landmark issue, The Incredible Hulk number 150. Story, Archie Goodwin, good old Archie Goodwin. Art, the great Herb Trimpe and John Severin Hulk team, love their stuff, with a Trimpe Severin cover. And again, these fun Bronze Age covers, I love them. I don't know why the girl has green hair. I don't know, unless she's Gerald. I haven't read the story in a long time. So, cry Hulk, cry Havoc. But I love these covers. Next up, Subby is back. Submariner number 48. We have a story by Jerry Conway. Art, Gene Colan, Mike Esposito, and what a cover by Gil Kane and the great Subby creator, Bill Everett. And you got the Doomster on there. Always good to see the Doomster, Dr. Doom, of course. Next up is Superman number 248. The first appearance of Terra Man. Shout out to the lovely Purple Valkyrie. Remember I was telling you about Terra Man? This is a great Neil Adams cover here, of course. But yes, the cowboy who rides a Pegasus-like horse called Nova or whatever, but he's really Pegasus. But he's Carrie Bates, Kurt Swan, Murphy Anderson on the first story. This is the Carrie Bates era of Superman. Some of us kind of like that. And I love the Swanderson team on the art, of course. But the second story, Bates, Dick Dillon and Neil Adams art. Neil Adams inking Dick Dillon. Wow. There's a third story in this 52-page extravaganza that is a reprint of from Superman number 46. Jerry Siegel, John Cicella, and George Rousseau with as the aforementioned extraordinary Neil Adams cover. What a cover. What a cover. King alert. We got Kirby. We got Jack King Kirby. One of his fourth world titles, of course. Mr. Miracle, number 7. With, of course, almost everything by Jack Kirby on the entire book, with some inks by the excellent Mike Royer, of course. But then you cannot leave him out. And a reprint in there, a Boy Commandos reprint that he did with his partner, Joe Simon. But it's all day long Kirby, full out Kirby when you got this... his fourth world stuff. And finally for the week, more Kirby, King Alert. Strangely enough, he didn't do this cover. Murphy Anderson did, which was, Murphy Anderson used to kind of redraw some of the faces, but I'm not sure what happened there. But this is when he was still on Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. Story arc by Kirby with some inks by Royer. And the second story being a reprint from Star Spangled Comics number 13 by Joe Simon and Jack Kirby. But again, interesting that Kirby didn't do the cover, but we're getting towards the end of Kirby's run on Jimmy Olsen. And of course, again, these are some of the just show these. I tell you what, since this was such a short video, I'll show you one more. How about that? We'll take a look at one more, and then we'll do the quick best video later. I'm going to start with a different. I'll tell you what, we're going to pick a wild card comic. How about that? I don't have anything ready on it. We'll just pick one that I didn't pick, that didn't make this cut, just for the heel of it. And I'll start next week. How about House of Mystery number 200? What about that? How about that? There you go. Because why not? That's the book. I didn't look. Look, you've all seen. I'm a superhero geek. Okay, I fully admit that. I'm just geeked out for the soups, but and as such, did not buy. I would see these comics out there. I would look at them, flip through them here and there. I just didn't really care for the horror comics that much, and but now just for the art alone, in this case, This one, and a Mike Kaluta cover. So you're already just top notch right there. You have Kaluta interiors. So on the first story, let's see who did the second story. You have some Bob Brown art on the second story. Let's see if we have any hidden classics in there. Some of them were reprints, some of them not. George Russo as well. So they got some really old reprints in this one. Let's see here. See if we got any big names in there. No big names other than Kaluta. Nothing against the other ones who are in there, of course, but. And there are a couple of there's some reprints and some new stories in there. So Tony DeZuniga stuff, a new story there. So yeah, there we go. House of Mystery number 200. So that's one I might have picked up. Like it wasn't on my folder list, but you never know. You never know. I might have just grabbed it up. So anyway, thank you all for being here for Clobby'S Comics Corner, Spin Rack Time Machine, 1972, January, week 2. I do appreciate it. I will do a follow-up video called Clobby'S Quick Bits that will come out the day after this one does, and this one will be out. This, of course, it'll be out. It'll be Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, that this one will be out. But I'm going to try to get this back to a Wednesday or Thursday schedule. I apologize for being so late with it. As always, my good friends, I want to give a big shout out to my wonderful first officer, the amazing RM Raquel Briggs, for making this spiffy intro outro for me. Thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one, and hopefully on the next stream. Clobber on, clobberers.